What's up, Enforcers? It's your boy Kaz at Midnite Lights Gaming, bringing you my first of my goal guides for the club, rank Inferno. I'm doing a goal guide tutorial walkthrough for every one of the goals in Sifu. I love this game. The goals added a fresh element that I've really enjoyed, and I want to help you out because some of them are pretty challenging, and this was one of the more challenging ones. Again, it's rank Inferno. You need to get 22,000 or more points. You can do it on any difficulty level. I do it on disciple difficulty, but you can definitely do yourself a favor and do it on easy mode. So again, you can find it in the menu. You can find all of these goals in the menu bar, and this one will actually get you 3 goals because it'll get you Spark, Blaze, and Inferno. So let's go over some tips on how to keep your multiplier up and maximize your points. So the number one thing you need to do to maximize your points is to stay at a multiplier times 3 as long as possible. I'll give you some hacks on how to do that. Also, you need to keep up the pace, stay on the front foot. That's tip number 2, because if you wait too long, your multiplier is going to go down. Tip number 3 is take on everyone. You need to take on every fighter in every room. And that will help you out a lot. You also want to extend your combos and not take advantage of every takedown that shows up for you. You also want guys to turn and go into rage mode where they get their flames on, because that'll give you sometimes hundreds, even 1,000 more points just because they get their life back. And lastly, I'll say is what you need is a really good run. I'll talk about that more in a minute. You probably know most of this already, but let's do some multiplier basics. Quite simply, the more damage you do, the higher your multiplier. You can get up to a ×3 multiplier, but not more than that. When you're at a ×3 multiplier, every hit you do is going to do a lot more points. It's pretty obvious. If you take any damage, you're going to go down to a ×1 multiplier, and then you need to work it back up to a ×3 as quickly as possible. Now, there are some things you can do to sort of boost your multiplier that don't involve doing damage. So let's go over those. So once you get hit and your multiplier goes down to ×1, one thing you can do to get it back up is to taunt, which is left on the D-pad. That typically will bring it up 1 full point. So if you're at ×1, it'll bring it to ×2. If you're ×2, it'll bring it to ×3. Now, a word of caution though, because I will tell you it takes a little longer than you think, and guys will creep up on you and get you while you're taunting. Another thing, and the best thing to do, is to use a focus bar and use Calbit, which you can unlock in the museum. There's tons of YouTube videos about it. It's the best thing you can do because it gets you right up to ×3. I can't recommend it enough. Now, that was tip number 1, keep your multiplier up. Let's talk about tip number 2, which is keep the pace up. During active combat, not in between sort of fights, but during active combat, if you're not attacking or doing damage, you can see this bar next to the multiplier, and it trickles down. And I'm in slow mode here, so it's trickling down pretty quick. So you just want to be aware of that. It means you got to keep the pace up, stay on the front foot, keep doing damage. But once you do damage, you can kind of get back into avoiding and deflecting, or make some space, get your taunt on, or your Calbit on so that you can get your multiplier back up. But you do want to keep that pace up. Next is take on everyone. You need to know where every single fighter in a level is, and you need to take them on and beat them, and try and do so without taking too much damage and keeping your multiplier ×3. I know that's obvious, but you do need to take on everyone. So that means knowing where they are. That means all the people in the sparring room in the club. That means the twins in the club, which I still think is arguably one of the hardest fights, especially to do without dying once. All right, third tip, y'all, is, or maybe this is the 4th tip, combos and takedowns. So this is extending your combos. So you don't want to take down every time you get prompted to do a takedown. You don't want to do it. Sometimes you need to do if there are a bunch of fighters around, but I would say if there's like 2 people, remember every hit you do is more points. So why take someone down when they have a lot of life left? You can still take them down at the end, but if there's a lot of life left, you want to extend your combos, keep doing damage, especially as your multiplier's up at 3, and you can see me doing that here. Multiplier's up at 3, the prompt comes up to do some takedowns, but I don't take them. I just keep doing damage, keep trying to get my multiplier up and staying up. And honestly, this will be one of the number 1 tips to help you do this. There are some cheeky things you can do to extend your combos when they have very, very little life. They're not absolutely necessary, But, you know, you can see, you can throw them and do those fast punches, and that will do it. Next is you want guys to rage. I feel like when you're playing to stay alive, the guys turn into rage, and you can be kind of frustrated about that. But you need them to do that to get points, because it restores their life. The points seem to get a lot more points from guys who turn on to like sort of rage fire mode. So know which guys will turn on, and know that when I go through the full walkthrough after the tips, I'll tell you which guys go into fire mode and which don't. So you can see me putting it all together with this fire mode guy. I use a Calbit here because he hit me to get myself back up to ×3. I'm doing a good job here of trying to keep him alive, keep doing damage while I'm at ×3. Extend it a little bit there with the throw and the fast punches. So those are some tips. I think you got to put it all together. Or I do pretty well of putting it all together in that last fight. Now, the last thing that I'll say in terms of tips is you do need a good run. So this is probably arguably most important to get the max points in the club, the 22,000. You do have to have a good run. You can't get your ass kicked and get 22,000 points. You really have to do a pretty good job of dominating, and your multiplier has to be at 3 quite a bit. I struggled with the club more than any other level. So if you start out and have a bad run, just restart and try again. You need a little bit of luck, and you know, yeah, take breaks, keep your focus up, and you got this. Let's go ahead and move into the full playthrough with commentary, where you can see me get over 23,000 points and the rank Inferno goal. Let's do this. Oh, I love this. I love this level. I think this is a level that really made me fall in love with this game. I love all the neon lights. It's cinematic. So many epic fights in here. The boss fight's one of the more challenging ones before Yang. It's just good. It's just a really good level. So even with this first guy, you know, I know he's not the easiest fighter, so I want to keep him alive. I don't want to do a takedown right when it comes up. I'm going to extend it by throwing him around and doing some of those rapid punches. So yeah, you need to do it with every chance you get in the club, in particular, to get the max points. You can't just be kicking ass and doing takedowns. You gotta kind of keep them alive. You gotta keep them up, keep them standing, so that you can do more damage with the multiplier ×3. Now you're gonna see me get hit here in a second. Yeah, there it is. So I honestly needed to be a little more proactive here. I was at ×2 and I needed to get it at ×3. And I didn't move quickly enough, and now I got down to ×1. That taunt got me back up, but you really, once you're at ×1, you're kind of on the push to get it up to ×3. Now you can use, of course, like we talked about, the taunting or the Calbit to do that, but I typically know I'm going to use one Calbit in this fight, you know, which is what, 10 plus people. But yeah, so for multiple targets, when you're trying to, you know, keep your multiplier up, is at first, you know, I am doing some takedowns early on. I kind of want to narrow these easier guys out. You know, I have a few people in here that I know can take a lot more damage. So the easier ones, which are the ones I work through pretty quick here, them I'm okay taking them down. Because by the time I see their takedown, they're pretty low on life. They maybe only have 1 hit left anyway. But you can see that guy with the bottle, this guy with the shades, and the guy behind me with the bun. All of them can turn. I think that guy in the tank top can too. So I don't think anyone does turn for me into this sort of fire mode. Actually, I think in this run through, it's a little while before I get my first fire mode guy. But I'll still try and point out everyone that does. So I'm at ×2, trying to get up to ×3, and doing damage. But yeah, this isn't great, I'll say. But you know, just keep trying to work your way up to ×3. I probably could have used a Calbit in that, or made some space to taunt. But this guy, you know, he can take a little more damage. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm sort of toying with him here, which isn't super cool. It looked like, and this is a good reminder that, you know, if you parry there, I used a Calbit there. If you parry, I think that adds to your multiplier as well. Now with this particular fight, I just didn't want to get my ass kicked, and if I give her too much room, she'll do that. So I go right for a crotch punch and like really go after her. So yeah, just noted, like, stay proactive. She doesn't have a ton of life. You know, she does go down pretty quick. Oh, I do extend it here with some throws and rapid punches. Ooh, I do that quite a few times. So, again, that's a strategy. I do kind of recommend it in the club more so than any other level where you need to get those max points because, yeah, it's tight. It's tight in this level to get 22,000. So, feeling pretty good about being ×3 here. Go down. This guy with the bandana almost always turns. I have no idea why he doesn't there. It's so rare that he doesn't turn. And like I said, you need to take on every single fighter. That means these twins, which I'll tell you, I did a bunch of run-throughs where, you know, I set the goal where I'm not going to die once. And it's very hard not to die in this room. I was quite proud to do it on the same run through that I got 22,000 points. But with these two, they have a lot of life. They're very dangerous. I knew I needed to be on my game, and I couldn't, as much as I want to do a takedown as soon as it pops up, what I really need to do is not take them down, get as much damage as I can, and keep my multiplier up. I have a full focus bar. I don't know why. I should have used the Calvin. But there you can see I'm prompted to take down, and I don't do it. Make sure to use the metal bat. It's pretty freaking necessary with these twins, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't do a takedown on either of them. I just keep striking until they're out of life. And that's a lot of points. You know, this is a good benchmark to be thinking about too as you go. I think that's the good part of a walkthrough as well, as you kind of see how many points I have as a benchmark. And I only get 1,000 more than you need, so you know, I think it's pretty reasonable to try and just be where I'm at as you go through. There's a little bit of leeway because I do get 1,000 more points than you need, but it's not a ton. There are some other videos where guys get a lot more points than I do. Alright, so the Mohawk guy and the guy in the bandana, they both can turn, as can the person in the short shorts there. Right, that person I just took down. They all can, all three of them can turn. So pretty much everyone but the guy with the ripped jeans. I think one of them does. Yeah, I think one of these guys does turn for me, which again is so important. You're just going through the level begging guys to turn, which is tough because you also don't want to do takedowns. So for guys that you think might turn, you always want to use a takedown on them. So for all of these guys, I wanted to try a takedown. For him, I was lucky that, you know, the takedown put him in fire mode. I'm trying to keep him alive, not doing that takedown, instead throwing him, doing the rapid punches, which is just throw and then I think square after you throw them. Use the Calvin to get back up at ×3. Still got a little life, so that's worth it. And you can just see, I mean, how many points did I just get from that one fire mode guy? It's absolutely necessary. Ideally, I would have had 2 fire mode guys, fighters at this point. This room's super easy. Nobody takes a ton of damage. Sometimes that guy in the hoodie will turn into fire mode, so you want to try and take him down when given the opportunity to do that. I can't remember if he turns from here. He should, because I've only had one guy, and typically by now you have at least 1, sometimes 2 people turn in fire mode for you. Let's see if he does. Nope. So this level's not doing me too many favors just yet. Okay, so this room, not a ton of tough fighters, but just keep that multiplier up. And again, when there's a lot of guys, I really don't mind using a takedown early on. Because I just found when there's a lot of fighters and I'm just trying to extend everyone's life and not do any takedowns, I just end up getting hit, going down to ×1, and it hurts me more. So better to stay at ×3 when there's a lot of fighters around and do what you can, but use your takedowns to kind of reset. And then you gotta take out everyone, so even this like basically innocent bystander staying there. She will attack you after you attack her, but there are a few people who otherwise wouldn't attack you in this level that you gotta take them on to get that 22,000. Let's see if I stay at ×3 for these two big guys. So I elected to do a takedown for him. I think he had quite a bit of life left, but you know, again, I want to stay at ×3, and these two guys can do a little bit of damage. So I basically am just electing to make sure I keep one guy alive to totally maximize points and take down the other guy a little bit sooner, so I'm just way less likely to get hit. Now, I think to get like 25,000 points, you wouldn't have taken down either of those big guys. You would have just kept them alive as long as possible and kept doing damage. Now, it's similar to those two big guys. If you take these two on, oftentimes they're going to do some damage. I mean, they even did there. Oh, actually, I elected not to take her down right away. Interesting. Usually, when I was trying this, I would take down the first person because when you have two of these folks, it's like that fight in the museum that's like really hard where you have two of them and they have like blades on their feet. But yeah, this is a little risky, but I like it. I'm already over 10,000 points. I've got to be pretty psyched about that going to the arena. So yeah, well done me. Grab that bat, get ready for the arena. The cage, the arena. I think it's the arena. So did a takedown on him. These guys are pretty easy, so it's not a huge difference in points between taking them down and keeping them alive and just striking them down. Oh, this was always fun too, the arena. And yeah, so this guy, the bandana guy, he will almost always turn into a fire guy. So you definitely want to take him down when given the option. Do I stay at ×3? Tell me I stay at ×3 this whole time. Oh my god, no, not at all. I just got clocked. I'm pretty sure I die at least a couple times. And this is the other thing, you don't really have to worry about that too much. You don't want to get so old that you're doing a ton of damage. That's not great. Wow, I'm really struggling with the big guy here. Got my bat back though, look out. So yeah, I'm still electing to keep him alive. I'm not doing a takedown. Maybe I should. He's kind of getting the better of me here. Alright, so there's the takedown prompt. I'm still not doing... Okay, I finally taken him down. And so that gives you a chance to focus on this guy, which I think is... Oh, he didn't turn into fire mode. Well, I also don't think I chose to take him down, which was a bit of a mistake. You want to try and take down the guy in the bandana. Alright, so... Yeah, again, this guy's not too tough. You want to look out for his, like... combo he uses every time, and then deflect or perfect parry the last one. If he does those jumping kicks, you can just avoid. It's all good. I use a taunt here to get back up because it looks like he got a hit on me. And then, yeah, I guess he does have that third combo where he sweeps the leg Johnny. So be mindful of that. That's the one he typically used that you want to parry the last one. Again, this level is more forgiving than I remember. Getting 22,000, I'm feeling like I'm taking quite a bit of damage in these last two fights to still get 22,000, but he's got a lot of life left. Oh wow, he got me again. So, gonna taunt, get my multiplier back up. I do die. There you go. So I was struggling. It's probably for the best. It was a little sloppy. Let's see if I can get him in round 2 though. I am 21 now. I can legally drink, so I ought to be able to get him. So that's the combo you're looking out for. You perfect parried it or deflected it there. I don't know why I'm running around. Oh, so I could get a taunt in and get up to ×2. So you can see those deflecting. I am watching my bar when I deflect. It doesn't do much. It definitely doesn't. It definitely isn't going down when you do a perfect parry or deflection, but I don't think it's going up either. I'm gonna keep looking at that. So that's that combo I love. Perfect parry. I wasn't looking at the bar. I'll still keep an eye out though. Just trying to do as much damage as possible, even though I've been given the opportunity to take him down. So yeah, I don't think that deflection bounces it up. So it does seem like the only thing that gets your multiplier up, the bar up, is doing damage. So again, you need to fight every fighter, which means you got to go into this blue light room, take on all of these guys, which is actually pretty great because they all have, there's a big chance to get a lot of points in this room because None of them are the easiest of the easy. Ooh, and this guy, yeah, so he turns into fire mode. Have we missed any? I don't think we've missed anyone else. Obviously, the guy in the arena with the bandana should have gone into fire mode. These guys don't always for me, so this is good. I think the game's making up for how few fire mode guys I've gotten. It's not great having to take 2 at a time. You can get through this section with the first 2 fighters. You just take them on 1 at a time, which is preferable. So at this point, you've probably realized this is not a perfect run. Like, I'm showing you a run that got me 22,000 points, and I was feeling real good after it because it took a number of tries. But you just got to remember, there is some forgiveness, but you'll kind of know after you do this a few times, and use my score as a benchmark to know if you're just so far behind you're not going to get back to where you need to get. But yeah, you can kind of see, again, just keeping these guys alive, not doing takedowns unless I absolutely need to. Let's take on our dragon mask guy here. So very much on the front foot with him. It's only 1 guy, so I am doing a little bit of strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Because I just don't have to worry about it. I'm not doing a takedown, so that's good. Doing the throw and the quick strikes. Duck strike? I can't remember. All of a sudden, it's like run out of my head. But again, in PlayStation, it's square and X in the direction you want to throw them. And then after you throw them, just press square, and she'll run after them and do those rapid strikes. Oh, why can't I think about it? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments if you remember the name of that particular move. That one right there. That one right there. Again, it gets a little tired, but it does give you a few more points, and it's important to do in the club, like I've said about 50 times now. So this is a moment where you probably know from some of my other videos, there are too many guys in here. I need to make space. It's a marathon fight. I need to like move around, make a little space, probably get a weapon. And you know, that's another good point. Let's talk about weapons for a second. So they do more damage per hit, which isn't ideal given that you want to get as many hits as possible to get your points up. I'm not super clear, and I haven't done the math or looked closely enough to know if like some strikes do get you more points than others. It stands to reason that they would. Like a crotch punch more than just pressing square. It should get you more points. Anyway, so yeah, there are times like clearly here where I didn't use a weapon. When I go into that big club room, the first big fight you have in the club, I do bring a bat. Obviously with the twins, I bring a bat. I need to be doing damage there or they'll just destroy me. So yeah, it's kind of up to you. In other levels, you don't have to be quite so, you don't have to milk every fight for as much points as possible, but you do have to in the club. At least that was my experience. Gotta milk it. All right. So, yeah, in here, there must be 7 or 8 fighters, maybe a little bit more. So you can see I am taking down the first few I encounter. Now, they do kind of come in waves, like they don't all come at once, so I can certainly hear the argument that I didn't need to do any takedowns here, but if you don't thin them out a little bit, in this part of the level, I do find that they're going to start doing so, because there are some tough fighters in here, and this guy with the white hair, there are a couple guys in here. It's not coming to me right now, but there are a couple guys in here that can go into fire mode, so you do want to try and start taking them down here. I think it's this guy in the white hair, but it's also a woman that comes at you. So I'm feeling really good. Being at 20,000 at this point is like, I know I'm feeling real fresh right now and good about where I'm at. Yeah, I think she can turn into fire mode. And she gives you plenty of life to work with. So really, again, try and milk this for as many points as you can because she stays alive. Now, it's very easy to forget that the person on the top of the stairs not only is someone you can fight, but someone with plenty of life for you to get points from. So Definitely go after her. It's just like the first guy you fought, the guy who killed me, where you're just looking for that same combo, deflecting and then going after her. Oof, that hurt. Goodness. Got a Calbit, a stairs Calbit. That should count for more. I should have like a ×10 multiplier. Oh my goodness, come on, avoid.
Bring it on.
So taunting up to ×3. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. So you gotta do damage. Yeah, they block you. So eventually I do, and my multiplier is looking real handsome right now. But goodness, those kicks I'm really struggling with this fighter. So again, that comes up. Ooh, I'm taunting while she's sort of knocked out in pain. That's probably the best time to taunt. I am really struggling with this fighter. This is like not super great. But still getting plenty of life. I mean, I only need 800 at this point, and I've still got 3 fighters left that all have quite a bit of life. So, but you can see I'm a little nervous, so I'm really milking the points with the throwing them and duck punching. It's not duck punch, it's something else. Again, put it in the comments if you remember. I'm gonna look it up right after this too. Sean, we're so close. We're about to hang out together. So this is one of the last 3 fighters you have that you need to, you can plan on a couple hundred points from. But it's just like all these other, they're all Sean minions, disciples of Sean. So the disciples of Sean all have the same move. It's the same as the twins. It's the jump kicks, the combo that ends with a sweep. You just want to disarm her as fast as possible. That's the most important thing, or she'll do a ton of damage. So I just throw my staff at her when I first get into the room, and then I'll sweep her and disarm her, or do a crotch punch and disarm her. That will help you out a lot with her, because then she just goes into those standard Sean Disciple moves that you probably know pretty well. Speaking of Sean Disciples, we've got 2 of them in here, which would typically be a harder fight if this room wasn't so big and you couldn't kind of move and get away. But I also find that these 2 do the combo we like the most, that you can deflect at the very end. I mean, she's already at oh, I was already at 22,000 coming in here, so I'm not too concerned. I'll do takedowns because I'm home. Now, just so you know, remember, you got to get 22,000 before you get Sean. You don't get to include any points from Sean. So there you go, y'all. That's 23,011 points. That's going to get you rank Inferno. That's a solid 20 minutes of my voice, which I'm sure you loved every second. But I appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Follow me at Midnight Lights on Twitter. Let's see how long I stay on there. Instagram. Yeah, and hit that like and subscribe button. I'd love for you to keep watching some videos, and I've got a ton more coming up soon for all of the goals for Sifu. All right, peace out.